Okay, are there any questions on this window right here? Quiet on the set. Quiet on the set. Quiet on the set. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions on this select project window?
You need to translate it in German.
Any questions on this window?
Where should that button on the right be? What should it
Share, not external, not private.
Right. How do you make a new project?
You click new project.
Click on new project.
Name it. What does this all? What does all this stuff go to then?
Leave it.
Leave it. Thank you. All right, and we would hit OK, and it would show up in here, and then you would click on that, and then you hit OK. All right. So we're going to go into section 3, which is you people, and hit OK. All right. What questions can I answer for anybody in here? The layout screen. What has this been called right here?
Sample bin?
Nope.
Oh. It's got boxes.
It's project window. This is where all your projects go. What's this one called? Source window. This will be on a quiz. We're probably going to do the quiz on Monday. It's going to be a 25-point quiz. Project window. If you want to take a picture of this layout with your iPad, I would suggest it. And then you can just bring it in Notability or whatever. This is being recorded for YouTube again. Project window. Source window. What's this one called? Record. And what's this one called? The timeline. How do I get my super bin to go open? What?
You click the little binny thing.
Click the little binny thing here. You got to double click this little black bin. It looks like there's a whole bunch of little folders right there. So we're going to double click that. And then the super bin is going to open. Okay? This is called the super bin. Project window, source window, record window, timeline, and super bin. Julian.
How do you get a project to your timeline?
We're getting there. Yep, I'm going to show you that in a couple things. If I wanted to rename 00069, how would I do it?
Click on it.
Click on it and then type it. Okay. First, I would want to find out what that shot is. It's scene 8, take 1. So, scene 8, take 1. Enter.
What is it called?
00070. This is scene 9, take 1. Scene 9, take 1. What other questions can I answer about this first before we move on? There's no such thing as a dumb question.
We did edits yesterday. Why aren't they showing up? Did we do edits?
Yeah, we edited a whole bunch yesterday.
I think it's not showing up. What do we have to do?
When you make
Listen, very important.
question up in the front, there's a lot of chatter. I'll answer the question before I tell you this.
What?
Do you have any questions yet?
No.
Okay. So in order to get the sequence up, we're going to go to untitled sequence. Anytime you make a new sequence, it's going to name it untitled sequence. So what I like to do is get into a habit of highlighting that and typing in master sequence. That way I know that that's my master
You guys
sequence.
notice how that icon's different than the others too? Notice the difference?
No.
Because that's the sequence, not the clips.
Yeah, so clips had their own little look and the sequence has its own little look.
And you don't see the sequence yet. Why?
So you haven't clicked on the icon.
Very good.
So we're going to click, we can double click it and it loads it. All right. So here's the footage that we edited yesterday and we're going to play through it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so this extra stuff at the very end, that was just it was our post roll, and then it was our extra stuff that we had after that. So we're going to get rid of that stuff. Any questions so far? Okay. So when we're walking into the room, we got to get the door handle shot. So we're going to go to, find that. Students walk into room. Is it this one? Oh, there it is. All right, so I'm going to name that one. We're going to name this door handle. Door handle.
5, 4, 3, 5, 4.
We always do our pre-roll on the actual shot that we're going to use, okay? So don't do your pre-roll with your slate in front of the shot, because that kind of defeats the purpose of why we do our pre-roll, okay?
4, 3.
Okay, there's where the hand comes in. We're walking in. McKenna's hand reaches for the door handle. Right about there. Let's review some of these buttons here. This is your source window. We've got rewind, fast forward, back of frame, forward of frame. Question in the front. Question in the front. Do you have a question? Well, you guys are talking, so I'm assuming that you guys are talking amongst yourselves about something you're wondering about. Do you have a question? Okay, then keep quiet, please. All right, so if you have a question, just raise your hand and I'll answer it. Got it? All right, so this is mark in. Wherever you want that scene to start, if you want the hand to be right there, we would hit mark in. If you wanted it out of the shot, you'd put it right there. So mark in tells that shot where to start. Then we have the play button, and the mark out button tells the scene where to end. So if we want to get them in the room, shut the door. If we want that shot to end right there, we would hit mark out. Those little teeth on the side, those represent the end of the shot. Okay. So the beginning, let's go forward a couple frames here. There's those little teeth there on that side. That's the beginning shot. There's the end of the shot. There's two ways to get footage into your timeline: splice in and overwrite. And we're going to do that next. We're going to find a little spot here on this shot right here. This down here is your timeline. This is where we're building the whole entire film. This is where you guys will be editing your videos together. Over here on your source window, we've got kind of the same buttons: rewind, fast forward, frame back, frame forward, mark in, mark out, play, and then a whole bunch of other ones that we'll explain another time. Down on your timeline, there's still some more buttons down here. So another thing that I should point out too, I mentioned this yesterday, is that your timeline, what you do down here, also happens up here. So your record window and your timeline are related. They coincide with one another. What you do down here happens up here. Questions on that? Okay. So when McKenna reaches for the door handle right there, this is where we're going to insert that shot of right there. All right. So we want the next shot to start right there. So mark in, that's where we want the next edit to happen. I can either push mark in here or I can push it down here, because these two windows are the same. They're related. They're coincide with one another. All right, so I think that McKenna's hand is right there. We want to see it here. You want to see a really bad edit? I'm gonna do a really bad edit. See how McKenna's hands are reaching forward?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Watch. I'm gonna change my mark in. This is why you have to kind of be precise about editing. Okay. This is gonna be a really bad edit, just so you know. So if you guys want to see a bad edit up in front, you guys aren't playing games up there, right?
No.
Okay. Here's a really bad. Here's the bad edit of the day. Here we go. Ready?
Ready.
Oh, did you see that? Why was it bad?
Wasn't it bad?
Alan, did you just ask that?
Yeah, like, I don't get, like,
Were you watching it?
yeah, and they walked through the door, and, like, he opened the door.
Okay, watch.
The right side, not the left side.
Yeah, watch.
The right side
What?
is the record
I
side.
know, that's what I was watching.
Oh, she was going to reach.
Well, they can't see how
Oh, she was already raising that. Oh, man.
Are you not familiar with our
Okay, are you
classroom?
For the sake of arguing, or do you want to
Arguing
hear
for the sake of arguing.
All right then.
Okay, so Alan, do you see McKenna's hands?
Yeah.
See how her hands are reaching up?
Yeah.
She's right next to that door, okay? And then when you cut to the next shot, she should already have her hands on that door handle.
At very least, the hand should be in the shot.
So the timing is way off. Watch it again. See if you can comprehend with your brain with this. You got it?
No, but what, they can't physically see the door, so what if the door was like inward?
Just
You could,
continue on.
Here.
You should always cut on action. So you see the action of her hand reaching out,
Yeah.
and we should see the continuation of that action. The general rule of thumb.
There, I put in 3 more frames of the shot so you could hear the door handle even slamming open. Now listen. Get it?
There's 2 doors.
All right, we're moving on. Control Z will undo the last thing. Another thing that will undo your last shot is if you go up to edit, undo, and it will undo the last thing that you did. I believe there are, is it 25 levels?
15 levels. But
15 or 25 levels of undo here. So if you completely screw up your sequence, you can go back in time and undo all those things, which is kind of nice sometimes because when you're working in a group of 5 or 4 or whatever your projects are dealing with, sometimes you have to go back a little bit. All right, so we're gonna get this edit in. Hands go forward. We're gonna set up the next shot. We're gonna put her hand right there, put our mark in, bless you, and bring that shot in. We'll leave the post roll in, and then we're gonna do an overwrite. Let me explain splice in and overwrite to you again. Splice in, basically what that's going to do is everything after this endpoint is going to be saved. It's not going to be erased if we hit splice in. So everything gets pushed down the line. If we were to hit an overwrite will cover over the top of everything in its path. So let me show you both ways. Splice in. Here's the edit. There you go. And then since we did a splice in, it saved everything after that point, so it didn't get rid of this shot. Okay. So splice in saves your stuff, and it does it.
What did you do to the audio?
If you hit the L key twice, it will speed it up.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Yeah. It also goes backwards too.
Who's here? Girl.
What?
Yeah. It's one of the fun things to do in video is like if you record someone giving a speech, you bring it into AVID, and then you just go to the very end and you hit the J key, and it goes backwards. It's
Wait, replay it.
it's fun. What? Backwards or forwards?
Back.
Who's here? Girl.
It sound when you play your friend's speech backwards, it sounds like they're speaking a different language. So it's kind of fun. Okay, so we've got our edit here. Go forward, and then we have them cutting into students walk into room. That's the wrong one. Interior 2 actors walk in. All right, so here's another one.
You're supposed to open the door.
Oh, is that a wait?
Failure.
Oh no!
Oh, that is bad.
Oh my word!
You could probably cut around that.
Yeah, we can cut around it.
That's horrible.
Well, then you just take out all the door handle seams.
Kind of, a little bit, Julian.
And after he passes, then you just cut past it. Just cut past where inside your room.
Door handle goes in.
No.
And he's right at the door frame right there.
Yep, right there.
That'll work.
So if we get Keon right next to the door, right there, if we line him up, right
Here's
there,
in the threshold.
mark in and mark in. So if you noticed, I just put a mark in on my source window. This is where all of your clips are stored, or where they load in. The mark in is telling AVID where we want that shot to start. Okay? This mark in right here is telling the sequence where we want that shot to be inserted. Do we want to do a splice in, or do we want to do an overwrite?
Overnight.
Tanner, what do you think?
It's good.
Can you take your headphone out of your ear?
What?
Thank you.
Take your headphones out of your ear. Oh, yeah.
What, Tanner, what did you say?
Said it was good.
What was splice in or overwrite?
Yeah, I was trying to talk while you were talking. Okay, what?
Should we do a splice in or overwrite?
Yeah. It's a splice in.
Why? Explain your reasoning.
So then you can put it into that time slot.
But why wouldn't we just use overwrite then?
Because then that would delete the stuff in that space.
Don't we want to delete the stuff in the space?
I don't know all of it.
We do, right? Or do we want to save all this junk here?
I couldn't tell you.
Just say overnight.
Let's do overwrite. Okay. So when we hit overwrite, we're going to get rid of all this stuff. Overwrite. There. All right. All right. Looks good? Anything you want to change on that edit? Actually, you know what? Let me see if there's
I thought it was them
a...
playing the piano. It was. It's me. There's definitely a piano on the table, Alan.
Okay, McKenna's in, and then if we cut to over the shoulder here, we're not going to change the audio. We're going to take the audio off. All right, so what I'm going to do a video insert here on this shot right here. McKenna's, if I look at McKenna's position here on this shot, I'm trying to match frame her here. Looks pretty good. Mark in. This is just going to be a quick shot right here. Mark in. Okay, there's a little continuity error here. You see that? McKenna's already sitting down, and in the other one, she's standing. So we got to match those up right there. Let's see if this works. Mark in and overwrite.
No.
What's wrong with it?
Keon, I was already sitting in the other.
Audio is off.
He needs to sit down.
I don't care what you think about
So do we need to change the out point then a little bit?
Of the first one.
First one.
This one. Yeah. See, because he thinks.
1, 2.
No, all you just put
Okay, so he's about to sit down,
Is it really
Still
bad
about
how
to
I
sit
sit
down.
on a chair?
And
pretty close. It's not too bad.
I guess you actually
it
All
was
right.
very weird. It was.
Okay, well we can fix that. Here, let me show you how to fix that. This is an advanced move, but we can do it. Okay, walk in, cut to over the shoulder, walking, and when we cut to this interior shot, we want to have Keon already kind of like right here, right?
Right.
Like in the process. So we are going to get rid of this little chunk right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in right here. We're gonna go mark out and mark in. Anything that's highlighted in blue we can get rid of. We also want to erase the audio. A1 and A2. If you take your finger and you cover one of your ears, the reason why we have two sets of audio is because you have two ears. You want to hear it in stereo. Okay? If we just have one audio selected, you're only going to hear it in one side. So that's why we have two. All right, so let's talk a little bit about this from yesterday. This is a review from yesterday for those of you who were not here yesterday. We talked about lift. If you hover over the top of a button, it will tell you what it is. I've never, in my 20 years of using AVID, used head fade or tail fade or select left or select right. Okay, so we're going to hit lift. Lift will create a little gap. Watch what happens. When we lift something, it lifts it completely out. It goes to digital space, wherever that is. And we hit play, and then it cuts it to black. Sometimes in movies, like a movie, you're watching a really suspenseful part, and it cuts to black.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're dead.
And then
Then they're dead once it's like done.
then like a skeleton face like comes screaming through, and like a blood-curdling scream comes up next. Scares the crap out of you, right?
Yes.
Okay, so shh. This is how you put in that black gap. Sometimes maybe your PSA will do this, or your music video will do this. Who knows? But that's how you do that. You do a lift. And you can do the lift as many times as you want. You're not going to break anything by lifting over and over. It's just going to keep lifting out blank space.
But if you lift it 15 times, then you are out of undos.
It's going to do the same thing. Okay. So extract. The difference between extract and lift, they kind of act the same, but they're different. Extract, what that will do is it will pull this shot together with this one. So it's going to close that gap. So if I hit extract, it's going to join those two together. So now if we watch that edit, we've erased that time. Walk through. There we go. That matches pretty well. Keon's about to sit down. So we kind of condensed that time down a little bit. Hey, can you stop throwing that ball up in the air? Thank you.
Yeah, he even followed down. It was just a lockdown shot.
We could always go back to the handheld shot here.
Yeah, that might be best.
Yep. So let me show you an advanced move here on AVID. You guys want an advanced move?
Yep.
So if I right click anywhere in the timeline, right click, new video track, new video track. I'm going to push this one up to one track, to video track 2. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my cursor at the end of that, and I'm going to go into, it's called trim mode, Keon. Trim mode. Trim mode. Look at it. Trim mode. All right? Trim mode. And I'm going to stretch this shot out. I'm going to click right in between these two shots, and I'm going to, oh, I don't want the audio though. Control Z, edit undo. I'm going to shut that off. I'm going to shut video 1 off. The only thing I want to stretch out is video track 2. So I'm going to go pull this over, this shot over. You can see that little playhead going over. Okay, see how it's been stretched out now?
Yes.
So now I'll show you what's going to happen here. Video track 2 now has like the authority over everything. This INT, 2 actors walk in, you're not going to see that anymore because video track 2 is on top of that. Okay? You're going to see the handheld follow actors in room the whole entire time. Okay? So until I decide to go leave that shot, show you. I'll just give you a demo here really quick.
Why is there music?
The bell was about to ring. These guys were late for their fourth hour, sorry. Okay, let me hit mark in, and I'm gonna hit mark out. And I'm gonna hit lift, because I want you guys to see gaps. Mark in, go a little bit over, mark out, lift. Mark in, mark out, lift. Okay. How many gaps do you see there? 3. Okay.
You know why it's doing that?
It plays the bottom one because.
Plays through whatever's the uppermost.
Yep. See this? You see? Everybody see this little TV right here?
Yeah.
If I shut that off, now there's no video, nothing. So you have to have at least one video source on over here, whether it's video track 1 or video track 2. Video track 2 is the order of precedence. Video track 2 is the most important right now. So if you want to see all of the edits, and we're going to encourage you to edit this way, you lay down your interview on video track 1. Yes, question?
What if the sound is like weird at a certain part? Could you like record something in the rooms?
Yep, absolutely. You can replace all sound in this movie with a whole different soundtrack.
So
Yep.
you record like a silent video and then like a 2-hour silent movie and then just go back and record the voices and put it in.
Yep.
He's got lots of time.
Okay, so what I was saying before, this top television here, this little icon here, one of these has to be selected. And like, so when we're doing like Tiger News features, here's what a Tiger News feature will look like. Our students we encourage them to use 5 or 6 tracks of video, and then typically we'll have, I don't know, probably
4 to 6, at least 6 tracks of audio.
that's 5,
In pairs,
and then
so
that's
one pair would be
6.
for music, one pair would be for sound bites, one pair would be for voiceovers.
Yep.
So you always need 2 of them
You always need 2 to
Tracks of each
for the
one.
right one.
for the stereo.
Mr.
Okay.
Tachi,
Yeah.
there's an option for stereo.
Yep. You don't use stereo because that doesn't work with these.
Like, what do you mean by doesn't work?
Because
It's
it's
2 mono tracks that mixes as stereo.
yeah. Okay, let me demonstrate here something really quick. I'm going to bring handheld follow actors in room all the way up to track 6. Okay? So I want to make sure that you guys understand this because this is really, really important. When you guys start doing your personal news features, we're going to encourage you to do it this way because we've had students do it on one video track, 1 audio track, or 2 audio tracks and 1 video track, and it's a mess. Okay? So if you can think in terms of layers, kind of like Shrek, layers, it's gonna be so much easier to understand. So you all see this little gap right here, right? Right. Okay. I'm only gonna select video track 1 to show you, and I'm gonna show you the order of precedence. Black goes back to the video. Okay, so all you saw was video track 1 right here. Now if we want to see when it goes back to this one, and then it jumps back, and then it jumps back to this one, and it jumps back, and then it jumps back to this one, you see it's almost kind of like a disco little thing here. It's jumping from this shot to 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 this shot. There's all those little changes are happening. And in order for that to happen, this layer of video has to be selected. So watch it now. You're still going to have that gap because we do not have video track 6 selected. So watch. Black, on, next shot, next shot, next shot, next shot, next shot. The reason now you're seeing those is because video track 2 is selected. There's so many times that students will call us over to their computer, Mr. Tauchi, all my audio's there, but I can't see anything. All my video is gone. My video's there, but I can't see it. And most of the time, someone they've shut off their little monitor here. So it's a really, really important step. Okay? Now, if we want this handheld follow actors shot to show up, you have to have video track 6 selected. That's the most important layer right there. So let me play this back. Now you're going to see everything. Questions I can answer.
So
it's whichever one is closest to the top, or if you were to have that one, B6 or whatever.
Yep.
Then it's whatever is closest to the top.
The top will take precedent, yep.
Yep.
But the only reason that that little TV is there is so if you want to work on another track without seeing that one, but to really see the true composition of the true sequence, you need to have that top layer selected.
What if you want to get rid of one of the layers? Just click on it.
To get rid of one of the layers,
Yeah.
I'll show you. Deselect those. Let's say we want to get rid of track 4. Okay, so I've deselected everything. Nothing is selected over here. And then on my keyboard, if I hit delete, it will say, are you sure you want to delete the selected tracks? And if I hit OK, it gets rid of it. Okay, so now it goes video 1, video 2, video 3, video 5, video 6. So if I bring this down to video track 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, it actually erases it from existence. Okay. Yes, Daniela?
There's only one little TV, right?
There's only one that you can't turn on all of these. So if you have, let's say you have 10 layers of video, you'd have to have V10 selected in order to see everything. Julian?
Like, what does the icon look like for the sequence?
It's right here. See where it says master sequence?
Could I take
Yeah, you can take a picture. See the difference between it says scene 9 take 1. This icon is different than that one. Okay. When you do your features, and let's say you do an interview, let's say you're interviewing somebody, name a teacher.
Mr. Tauchi.
Mr. Tauchi. You interviewed Mr. Tauchi. You brought me into the studio. You put a lapel microphone on me. You recorded an interview. My face and my interview would be on video 1, audio 1, and audio 2. Okay, so all my shots are on that one. Then, let's say I'm talking about my dog Cooper. He's a Cocker Spaniel. He's almost 5. He'll be 5 on July 9th this year. And I'm talking about how he can do tricks. This morning, I was getting Cheetos for my daughter Danica, and Cooper, he knows the sound of a Cheetos bag, and he'll come running. Sorry, Mr. Mathis. And he comes running, and it's like, hey, Cooper. And he just looks at me with his like brown eyes and is like, oh, can I have one, please? So I've trained him to, I can put, if everybody looks right here, I can put a Cheeto right here in between his eyes, and he'll just look at it. And I'll say, leave it, go get it. And he'll hit his head up and he'll catch it. And it happens so fast. It's awesome. So if I was talking about my dog Cooper on video 1, audio 1, and audio 2, what you would put on video track 2 is you could put B-roll of my dog Cooper doing tricks. And so all the B-roll stuff would be on video track 2. Also, another thing on that B-roll, if you look at your sequence here, any of the gnat sound, let's say you went over to my house and you filmed Cooper doing these tricks. The video from Cooper would be on video track 2, but the audio from Cooper would be on track 3 and 4. So you would mix in that natural sound.